On the news, ECOWAS Parliamentary recommends product harmonization for plastic-free environment.
The various stakeholders and experts have provided us with practical insight and inspiration to adopt in the different member states.
As nationwide protests enters day 7, Osogbo protesters suspend protests indefinitely.
It's imperative to put the protest on hold today.
Plus, high-ranking senator apologizes to political party leadership.
That all my observations as a senior member of the family should have terminated or ended with the party.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliament News. I am Amina Saidu. We begin with an appeal from a member of the House of Representatives, Akilayo Kolaole, who is appealing to protesters to call off the protest and accept the olive branch being offered by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for constructive dialogue. Briefing National Assembly correspondents in Abuja, the lawmaker from Ekiti State emphasized that dialogue is the rational option towards addressing the demands of the protesters.
The youth that are protesting, I will visit them and advise and also beg them to please dialogue, that they should come to table for dialogue. So whatever demand they have, they can table it before the government. The one the government can do immediately, they will offer it. The one they can do in a long time process, they will also let them know. But as it is, this government is very new, and considering the level of decade inherited by the government. Like they said government is continuous, we all know. But if you inherit a bad structure, it will take a while for you to repair it and make it stand solid.
He calls for patience with the federal government in its quest to reduce poverty and improve socio-economic conditions of the masses. In a related development, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, has applauded President Bola Tinubu for his address to the nation, urging protesters to suspend further protests and embrace dialogue. In a statement by the Executive Director of CISLAC, Awal Musa Rasfanjani, the organization acknowledges the President's recognition of the grievances driving these protests and his commitment to listening to and addressing Nigerian citizens. Rasfanjani says President Tinubu emphasized the need for unity and collective effort in reshaping the nation's future, calling on all Nigerians, irrespective of age, political affiliation, tribe, or religion, to work together for a better Nigeria. CISLAC appreciates President Tinubu's unequivocal stance against ethnic division and threats, underscoring their incompatibility with Nigeria's aspirations. The organization calls on Nigeria's security operatives to heed the President's call for respect for human rights, ensuring that peace, law, and order are maintained in accordance with these principles. Meanwhile, protesters in Osun State have suspended demonstrations till further notice due to the popular Osun-Osogbo festival. The leaders of the protest stated this in Osogbo after submitting their demands to the Osun State Governor Ademola. Femi Afariogun has details.
The protesters converged on their usual spot at Nelson Mandela Freedom Park, Osogbo, before proceeding to the State Secretariat to submit their demands to the state government. The Deputy Governor of Osun State, Prince Kola Adewusi, who received their letter, saluted the youths for conducting themselves peacefully throughout the protest. He assured that their letter will get to the President.
To all, that the Governor will write an accompanying letter to be presented at the next meeting, that these are the requests of the youth in Osun State, and this will be presented to the federal government. And I told you, in terms of your demands from Osun State government, every request that you listed is being taken care of.
Meanwhile, at a press conference after the protest, the youths agreed to suspend the protest for the coming Osun-Osogbo festival.
Considering the safety of the influx of tourists coming for the global Osun-Osogbo festival and the possibility of hoodlums disguising as tourists and unleashing attacks on peaceful protesters, we consider it imperative to put the protest on hold.
The leaders of the protest urged the President to take adequate actions on their demands. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Away from the protest, a high-ranking senator representing Borno South, Ali Ndumi, has brokered truce with the National Working Committee of the governing All Progressive Congress over what appeared to be a flagrant disregard to the party's laid-down regulations. The Borno-born senator said he regretted his utterances on the state of the nation while making his position known in a live media interaction, and admitted he would have consulted with the party before positioning his views.
It is not surprising that I was invited to hear my own side, and we had family discussions, and actually I've accepted the mistake of not talking to the party as the last point. I promised the party that all my observations as a senior member of the family should have terminated or ended with the party. And that is something that moving forward. But whatever I said or whatever I did was out of patriotism.
What about your membership? Is it still valid?
I know my membership. I have not been expelled. What the party said, even the party did not say, look, we don't want you here. They said, because he's my father. The only thing the party said, like, look, if you don't like this house, you can go any house. Where will I go? This is my house.
We are quite satisfied with the apology. In fact, as he said, we invited him. We are writing to the National Assembly, conveying what has transpired between Senator Ndume and the party. And as you know, he has apologized to the party, and we convey the same issue to the National Assembly so that with hope they can review their position.
The national chairman of the party, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, commended the senator for displaying the spirit of a true party man and urged others to work towards the unity and stability of the governing party. The House of Representatives says the dissolution of the ad hoc committee on oil and gas by the leadership of the House was to ensure efficacy, independence and effectiveness of the investigation. Spokesman House of Representatives Akiru Timijinyo, in a statement, says the clarification has become necessary due to speculations in some sections of the media, with some making allegations of a rift between the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, while others allege that there was an inducement for the appointment of a committee chairman. For the avoidance of doubt, the House has its internal working mechanisms, which are enabled by Section 60 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, which provides that, subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the Senate or the House of Representatives shall have power to regulate its own procedure, including the procedure for summoning and recess of the House. The statement adds that at no time did the House leadership or anybody receive inducement for the appointment of any committee chairman. It was an assignment diligently executed by the Selection Committee of the House between June and July 2023, which has a member from each of the states of the Federation. It emphasized that there is no rift whatsoever between the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker regarding this or any matter. The duo enjoy a robust and cordial relationship. The two presiding officers also have mutual respect for each other and will not allow anything to come between them. He urged the public to disregard speculations and implore journalists and the Nigerian media in general to always verify their facts and cross-check with the appropriate quarters before going to the press. Time to pause for a break. The news continues shortly.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306 and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
家za a samu cikakken ci gaba. Saboda haka
wàásù ẹni ọ̀wọ̀ Nicholas Ogbon ó ní ó yẹ kí àwọn ènìyàn súnmọ́ Ọlọ́run kí á sì máa.
Following the poor state of electricity supply in Ikom local government area, the Cross River State House of Assembly is calling on the executive arm of government through the Ministry of Power and the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company to urgently look into the situation. This was part of the resolution reached when the motion was presented to the House by member representing Ikom 1 State Constituency, Abang Samuel Neji. Udwak Etim tells us more.
Electricity has become important because of its ability to improve quality of life, drives economic development, provides essential services, and foster technological advancement. Absence of this infrastructure in today's world limits growth, expansion, and productivity, as people spend much money to purchase fuel for effective service delivery. This is the situation in Ikom local government area, as poor state of electricity supply in the area was brought before the Cross River State House of Assembly by member representing Ikom 1 State Constituency, Abang Samuel Neji, while calling on the state government and Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company to urgently look into the power situation.
Ikom has been suffering for life for the past 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years thereabout. So it's unfortunate that with all the heavy industry companies that become, there's no light to power those companies, those machines in Ikom. So today, with the House resolved that we should invite power holding company to come and tell us why Ikom is not having light.
Other lawmakers lent their voices to support the motion, noting that it is necessary for the people to enjoy adequate power supply.
So it shows clearly that Cross River State government, Mr. Speaker, if our economy is being affected by the fact that there's no provision for light, we will never do better. And our very revenue generation will continue to do it.
Section 14 of Part 2 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria empowers this assembly to make laws in respect of electricity establishment, generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity. We should not continue to take our people for granted.
That Ikom local government contributes about 4 billion naira annually to the federal government. And today, this is the same local government that don't have electricity.
Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, Elvet Ayambem, assured that the 10th Assembly will continue to collaborate with the executive to ensure that the developmental projects, including rural electrification, are extended to local government areas across the state. It was part of the resolution by the House that government should bring relevant stakeholders together to light up Ikom and other parts of the state suffering poor power supply. In Calabar, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
The Ogun State House of Assembly has passed a bill to enhance rural and semi-urban development and ensure even development of the nooks and crannies of the state. The lawmakers, while passing the bill, note that the bill, when assented to by the governor, will address rural-urban migration, among other advantages. Yemi Dalemo completes the story.
The passage of the bill followed the presentation by the Committee on Rural Development, which was later read and adopted clause by clause before the Committee of the Whole House and passed through the third reading, after which the Whole House unanimously supported the passage through a voice vote. Sponsor of the bill, Batunde Teller, explained the advantages of the bill to include curbing rural-urban migration, ensuring even development at the grassroots, provision of basic social amenities, and crime reduction, among others.
To ensure rural integration, promote even development in rural and semi-urban areas of the state.
to be forwarded to His Excellency Wabiel for his assent.
The lawmakers at plenary also joined other well-meaning Nigerians to appeal to Nigerian youths to avoid acts inimical to the peace and tranquility being enjoyed in the state and the country at large. The Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, urged the youth to continue to engage the government through meaningful dialogue, especially on the high rate of inflation affecting the citizenry.
Section 41 of the same constitution, which also says and enshrines the right of free movement. That is, nobody has the right to debar or stop anybody from moving or going about their lawful businesses within the country.
We are only pleading for our youth to do things with decorum. We are pleading to them in the principle of fundamental right. Your right stops where my own begins.
The House rounded off the mid-year assessment of the performance of the various MDAs in the state with a charge on them to redouble their efforts at delivering qualitative dividends of democracy to the citizens of the state. In Abuja, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
In a significant political shift, 3 members of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the Kebbi State House of Assembly have defected to the All Progressives Congress (APC). Correspondent Usman Abdullahi Shehu has more on the development.
The defectors are Muhammad Umar La'amore Argungu constituency, Yusuf Abubakar Tillibunza constituency, and Hashimu Usman Yawuri constituency. While accepting the letters of defection, Speaker Muhammad Usman Zuru cited the Nigerian Constitution's provision allowing members to switch parties.
The Constitution is very much clear that a legislator is at liberty to decamp to another political party where there is faction or division that sponsored his election, with reference to the proviso of Section 109, subsection 1, subsection G of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
In their separate letters, the defectors stated that their decision to join the APC was due to the crisis in their former party, which led to emergence of factions. In a related development, the House of Assembly received an executive letter requesting the nomination of Muhammad Ashur Garba as the chairman of the Local Government Service Commission following the demise of Mansur Shehu Mansa. The House invited the nominee for screening to appear before the chamber. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The ECOWAS Parliament is recommending to member states to adopt regulations on plastic product harmonization for the region to have plastic-free environment. This was contained in a draft report adopted by the Committees on Agriculture, Environment and Natural Resources at the end of a delocalized meeting in Winneba, Ghana. ECOWAS Parliament correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The week of knowledge sharing described by committee members as fruitful. It is now time for action to address the problem of indiscriminate use and dumping of plastic waste. Members recommend sensitization as key to unlock numerous benefits associated with. These include job creation, enhanced public health, and serene environment.
The various stakeholders and experts have provided us with practical insight and inspiration to adopt in the different member states of ECOWAS and scale these initiatives within our respective communities.
Prior to this, a town hall meeting was organized by ECOWAS Parliament in Winneba and engaged stakeholders on how best to tackle the challenges posed by plastic waste.
An example of devastating impact that plastic waste has is on fishery, aquaculture, and tourism, especially in the coastal community where many people live.
Take your time to put a separate container where anything that you use or you see as a waste in the family, you put it in that container.
so that you will have plastic, you will have other forms of waste separately.
Members believe that the earlier the region encourages citizens in turning waste to opportunities, the better. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Back home, the need to stop deforestation and promote tree planting, growth and maintenance to reduce the impact of greenhouse gas emissions on humans was discussed at a workshop in Lokoja. The event also focused on developing environmental rights and policies for women and youths.
The world continues to face the impact of climate change, with Kogi State in Nigeria being one of the regions affected. Annual flooding in the state causes fatalities, destroys livelihoods and damages infrastructure, particularly in Lokoja. Additionally, the unsustainable exploitation of natural resources, especially coal, has led to environmental damage and health risks due to illegal mining. In response to these challenges, the Climate and Sustainable Development Network and Green for Life initiative organized a workshop for women and youth on environmental rights, accountability, and policy development for green growth in Kogi State. The workshop seeks to enhance community resilience through capacity building, early warning systems, and environmental conservation, as well as to develop policies that integrate green growth principles into national and subnational frameworks.
By the time we keep falling trees, destroying our forests just because we are hungry, not sooner than later, the disaster will be worse than hunger. And so we continue to encourage people, please stop deforestation.
The world is at war today with a common enemy which we do not know, and that common enemy is the climate change.
Vice Chancellor of the Federal University, Lokoja, Professor Layemi Akunmi, emphasized the timeliness of the session. He urged participants to become ambassadors and environmental stewards dedicated to preserving the world for future generations.
This effort is one of the ways to mitigate against all this climate change, negative part of it. So it's going to be a policy in the university now.
As part of the initiative, trees were planted to mitigate the effect of climate change on the university community. Presentations were given on topics such as the economic benefits of transitioning to green growth in Nigeria and advocating for environmental rights. Participants are expected to work together to make a lasting impact for the benefit of the environment and future generations.
And that's the size of the bulletin at this time. Do follow the news and other programs on the platforms on the screen. On behalf of the production team, I am Amina Said.